Um, do you guys have any prayer requests that you would like to remember?
My youth group and some of our school sports teams are coming out.
So, Elyria, Ohio, and they're traveling, and this is First Baptist Church. School. So we'll pray for safety and travel. The roads are not great.
Hopefully by I think they're coming out on Wednesday.
Hopefully it'll be better. I haven't looked at the forecast if it's supposed to be. Oh, really?
It's going to be a little bit warmer.
Warmer is better because right now it's so cold that the salt doesn't really work. So.
It's really bad.
Oh, that little walkway is very poor.
Yeah, at least right now it's like slush and you can get traction and slush, but in front of the apartment it's just like ice. Solid.
And like a powder and then
It's not ideal condition.
No, it really freaks me out.
Well, let's pray for safety for First Baptist Church and school, as well as for all of our students. But no one will fall and break a hip or have an injury. So something that will apply to everybody is, I mentioned this in other classes, but I didn't mention it here, I don't believe. We are flying out Thursday to go to Florida to do a concert at Maranatha Baptist Church. Maranatha Village is a retirement community for pastors and Christian school teachers. So they invited us to come, and so I will be recording our time, and I've already started working on what I'm going to do for that, and you will just have to watch that, and then horribly stressful. But I will be getting ready for the concert at 7 p.m. on Friday, so if you can pray for Jason and I as we try to minister effectively. Their pastor, Pastor Terry Price, passed away in November of a brain aneurysm. And their associate pastor is having like open heart surgery. And so they just have gone through a lot in the last couple of months. I know they'll be needing encouragement, so that God would use us to be an encouragement, as well as just safety and travel. We're driving from the Orlando airport over to Sebring, and so just that will. So kind of exciting though, and super fun. They're paying for us to fly, Prophet's Chamber, and looking forward to just a great time of using our gifts to be a blessing and be blessed too. I know that we'll be encouraged. So that's this Friday, the 24th. It's hard to believe it's coming Friday, but so let's pray. If there's anything else, let's pray. Thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for your mercy that is new every morning. We thank you for your providential hand in everything. You order the stars and you order the sun and the moon and just the beauty all around us. We marvel at even the control you have over the weather. We commit this week to you. For those that will be traveling, we think of all of the high schoolers, but especially First Baptist Church. That you protect them as they travel in on Wednesday. Give them safety. Give them even joy in the journey. We also ask that you would be with all of the faculty, staff, and students as the icy road conditions, as well as the icy sidewalks. Protect everyone. Help no one to be injured or to fall. We thank you for even the opportunity to go to Lord on in this church that has experienced loss, that you would just comfort them and help us to effectively be with Jason as he sings. And Lord, we just ask that you would go before us. And we thank you for all of these things that you so graciously provide and help us to enjoy our time of learning together in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So in front of you, Logan has a question. Yes,
So,
sir.
I know, is it next week that the teaching philosophy or something?
Yes, about teaching.
I don't know what that's all about, I guess.
So, I have maybe I will spend some time on Friday recording a lecture and even show you some examples and some other sources to turn you to. On YouTube, I just searched teaching philosophy, how to create one, and a lot of things came up. And there's some rub of some people say it needs to be 2 pages, some people say no more than 1 page. So what I want for you is I'm not going to say it has to be 3 pages or it has to be 2 pages. Well, there you go. If anybody dumps anything on their clothing, Anna is ready to help.
I was looking for, but
Oh.
Well,
I found it when I was going through stuff. Okay.
yes.
So, Logan, I'm going to write a note to self to include that in my plan for Friday. Now, I will give you a little bit of guidance right now, just saying it's not something I want you to think is like when you wrote the piano learning summary, is anybody's piano learning story exactly the same? And does that mean that your teachers were utter failures? No. We are not all born with the same gifts. We're not all nurtured in the same way. And the God's glory. And so with your teaching philosophy, are you going to be an a dictator teacher? You're a teacher directed. You do my way or the highway. This is what I want to achieve. And you're coming with me whether you like it or not. Or are you going to be permissive? Whatever you want, whenever you want it, however you want it. Or you're going to be authoritarian. So that means that you have clear expectations and they're high expectations. You're very warm, very inviting, but you know where you want to go, and you're kind of have a purpose in your planning. I kind of steered you already to where I think. Does God have expectations for us? Things that He expects from us? What would you say? Are they 10 suggestions or 10 commandments? Right? If you like doing this, go ahead and do it. No, it's just very direct. So I think the pattern from scripture is an authoritarian. It's not like mindless, and it's not mean spirited either. God is so gentle, so patient. Read the story of the Israelites and how naughty they are and how patient God is. Yes, ma'am.
You don't have like a rubric though.
I do want you to feel. I think what I'd like to do is maybe I'll give you on Friday. I think I've given you so much freedom it's stressing you out. Okay. Okay. But at the same time, I don't want you to go about reading it, writing it, and you're just spitting out what I said. And I think because if you try and take on my personality or my natural gift, is that going to work really well? God has uniquely made you, and students need authenticity. That they don't expect you to be Anna or Logan or Sarah. They want you to be uniquely So I will try and give you more direction, but I don't want you to feel confined. It's okay if your philosophy. Okay.
I guess I was just wondering because I didn't really know how long it was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
something I can
It's
start
more
working
like
on.
how long is it supposed to be and what kind of things do you want us
Right.
to address? Maybe not how should we address it.
Yeah, yeah. So I want you to, what is your perspective on your responsibility? What is your perspective on the student's responsibility? Because I think there's both. And then you might also address the parent's role as well. So, mine with a college student, I'm not going to really be thinking about your parents a whole lot. Okay. I'm not saying I don't love them and respect them, but they're not my primary. Can they make you do a whole lot in your current state of living? They can encourage you, but you're pretty much a little bit independent. If I don't get you motivated, no, right? They're not going to know whether you're practicing or not, or doing your homework. They're hoping you are, I'm sure. But I want to be sure you. So address your role, the student's role, and then parents' role where applicable. And I will try and give you more, maybe even a rubric of kind of what I'm looking for. But do not think that yours needs to be like, this is the only right teaching philosophy. I think that there's room for, and it's an ever changing document as well. It's organic. It's not something that you're going to write. My teaching philosophy did not address internet, smart boards, YouTube. I think it now should. That's a new trend, and it's a part of whether we like it or not. It's a part of our. So, what is that role and all of that? So, to be an ever changing editing, and so I'll work on that on Friday. I'll give you some more clear direction, but hopefully you can at least get started thinking. You've had some great teachers. I've heard you express that. You need to be thinking about why were they effective. Were they good listeners? Did they show that they cared about you, and how did they do that? And for you, it may look different. Okay? I'm not going to give a hug to all of my students as they walk in. They're all college students. It's not appropriate. But a little 5-year-old, if they want to give like me a side hug, I'm good with that. But it's just going to be kind of, I care about you, so I'm going to respond to your text. I care about you. I'm going to let you eat in class. I mean, there's just a lot of variety. Okay. And you have another follow-up question, Logan.
I mean, I probably probably traveling.
Okay. And that's an excused absence. Yeah, and I got that. So for you, I think what I'll just make sure the video is loaded onto module tab. I will, if it's not, I'm going to write a note that turn in either or. So I'll make sure the online is permitted, but if you turn it in, even an email as an attachment, I'm good with that. Don't be too stressed out about that. And again, I am more wanting you to learn through the process of thinking about this stuff rather than the project isn't my primary. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want you to be sorting through all of these things, and I'm not going to be picky. If you turn me in something, I'm not going to give you a C or a D. I promise. It's pretty much going to be okay. They covered these things. Perfect. That looks really good, and it will hopefully stimulate and awaken kind of like good Bible study methods. Hopefully, you don't just go finish that class now. I'm never going to study the Bible again. It's going to be just the beginning of something more. Okay. Okay. So under Canvas, if you go to Piano Pedagogy 2, and so that my friends online can see this, under Modules tab, you should be able to see what I've already uploaded there, and they're there, and you should be able to listen to them. Obviously, if you're in classes, you know, but they will be available to you. And I noticed I stopped dating them. I'll go back to dating them so you know if I miss the 27th, that's what I need to watch. Okay? So we'll keep walking through stuff. Okay. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, and unless there's more questions. Okay. And this was not as smooth as I was anticipating, but there we go. All right. So leveling of literature, we already kind of started doing some of that, but I wanted to go back as prescribed in the syllabus of what is preparatory level, what is level 1, what is level 2. Be aware there are different people that will assign different, just because it says 1 doesn't mean it's level 1. Just because it says book 2 doesn't mean it's level 2. That for me I didn't know that. And so I kind of thought, oh, I can buy this Christmas book. It says book 2. I open it up and they're like intermediate books. So just really be paying attention. I printed off for you, and I did put this, I'm going to put this on Canvas as well. FJH, which they have lots of different things, the festival collection, which I have a lot of those behind here. But I wanted you to have these correlation charts. So that on the back has a kind of a, it looks like these are a little bit out of order. And there might be more here. If you go to FJH's pianist curriculum, they have, their search is a little more wonky. I could pull that up for you to see. But let's see. Okay, so FJH, their piano catalog is like this. Their search is a little wonky. Are you missing things?
Well, Sarah and I both got 1, and Logan got both of the ones that we got.
So show me what you have at the front. So then you need that, and then you need this. Sorry.
Oh, I have that one.
You have that one.
I need that one.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So FGH, that's how you can search for things, title, composer, arranger, and if you don't get everything quite right, it can be a little bit obtrusive to find. What I like about Alfred is that they have a search where it's just, you type in even a key word, it's going to come up with almost every answer. So I just found Alfred's experience as far as finding stuff to be a little bit more user-friendly. But the FGH, so Helen Marley, she is a piano pedagogue that has done a lot of really great stuff for FJH. She's a brilliant music teacher. And so I like a lot of their stuff. I've bought a lot of their stuff. I would just say that maybe their website is not quite as savvy. I don't like it quite as much. I am a part of their music teacher club, so I get at like 50% off. They send me their new releases, and I love that because I love seeing what's brand new. And they offer for teachers, I think it's like 45% off. So you can have reference things. So they're showing you, at least for their books, what they see as a correlation between them. So preparatory, most of the time, you'll either see with a preparatory book, it'll say early in elementary or preparatory. They're kind of synonymous. Just be careful, because I mean, you got to see in your method review project that just because you finish book 1 doesn't mean you're in level 2. Some books proceed a lot faster, and there's 1A and 1B, and then 2A and 2B. So there's some differences there. Early elementary, mid elementary, and then you have late elementary. Sometimes you could even think of it as early intermediate to late elementary. I tend to err on the easier for this reason. If the student feels competent, are they more motivated to practice when they leave feeling like I can do? So I tend to go that direction. Now, the one exception would be a recital. I might let them do something a little bit beyond them because we're going to work on it for quite some time. If I do a Christmas recital, I pick out our repertoire late September. So they kind of start working on that. And that gives us some freedom that if, let's say, they do want to do something a little harder, we have plenty of time to work that out. And then maybe I'll teach it by rote quite a bit, maybe. Or we're going to do the teacher duet, or we're going to do many different layers to this. So I want you to include this in your portfolio, the notebook that you turn in, okay? I have from Faber has a similar thing. They use pictures. You've seen it before. I've given it to you. I would put this in the same kind of setting. Now, to me, this takes a little bit of investigation to actually put all of this into practice. So we're going to try and do a little bit of that together. I'm going to be referencing this. So I've shown this to you, I think, one of the times. So this is a 2010 piano examination syllabus from the Minnesota music teacher. You guys were supposed to look at Colorado, Michigan, and Ohio. Some of you are smiling and giving me the look like, maybe I forgot about that. It's something that, honestly, right this minute, we could look at Ohio's and check it out. I took lessons at K&S Conservatory. K stands for Sue Krebsbach. She was the president when all of this kind of got written out. There is so much in terms of information on this incredible amount of information. They have more in terms of quantifying this. If you go and try and learn what is preparatory level, what does that expect? Level 1, what does that expect? It's hard to find information on that. I even looked at several textbooks. I would say this is the most helpful that I found. And maybe you have them for Colorado, maybe you have them for Michigan. What did you find, Logan? Do they have their own piano examination syllabus? And it's also in the MMTA, but it's Michigan. So ours is the same name, but means different things. Okay. And do they have the syllabus available for view? They do.
They have different in the contents. There's like 1A and 1B, and then it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5.
Interesting.
6. It all goes all the way up to 12.
Really?
Yeah. And they each
So
have their
your
own
system
sections.
is different.
Each have their own section.
Okay.
Rhythms, melody.
Wow. Okay. So that's fascinating and confusing all at the same time. Because your system goes up to 12, This one goes to 10. I would say, though, if I may, that preparatory is really their level ones, twos, and level one is really their like twos, threes. And that just explains how they get up there. Yeah, interesting. And this handles it this way, where it says a preparatory level. The student should be able to express the character of a piece. Rhythm, that they can keep a steady pulse. Touch, a pleasing tone quality. Dynamics, show dynamic contrast. So form, they need to be able to show their awareness of form and play with firm, even tone. Rhythm, precision, and control valued over speed. What does that say? Yes, it is. I would say that's a perfect explanation. That just being steady, you don't need to wow us with your facile fingers at that point in the keyboard skills, that they are going to be able to play two contrasting styles, even at preparatory level, and pentascales, that they can play them hands together, parallel motion, C, G, D, A, E, and F major. So quite a lot of skills. So would you probably put them in a keyboard exam there, like in the first 6 months that they've played? Most students? I wouldn't. I would say that maybe if they're really advanced, maybe after the first full year of study, you might be ready. You have a really interested student. Okay, so preparatory level, we're going to look at some of this. On your chair, you have Alfred's Premier and then Alfred's Basic, right on your seat. So one of the pieces that they say is Willy Tilly. So let's look at, this is the basic piano library, the more orange one, not the Premier. Are you okay? All is well? Okay, so we're looking for Willy Tilly. I should have found this in advance, but here it is, page 52. Willy and Tilly. So they consider this to be a preparatory piece, preparatory level. Kind of have a left-hand melody and then the right-hand copies. Would you say that both hands are often moving at the same time? And are you changing hand positions ever? Get into G position and you stay right there, right? There's no moving. So that's a great example of what you would expect at a preparatory. So sometimes a student might get there in 6 months. It kind of depends. Now let's look at the page favorite words. So that should be in here as well. See if you find it before me. You're looking for favorite words in the same book. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not in here. It's in recital. My apologies. We do not have that. So now I'll go on to Premier Piano. So and our dear friends have these books as well. We're looking for favorite, not favorite words, my sombrero. My sombrero. Sombrero. I'm not finding it yet. that is because, interesting,
It's not in here.
it's not in there. Okay, it's 1B and 2A. Ah. It's interesting in my mind that you get it in here. I misread. It's not even in here. Okay. There aren't any out of this premiere until 1B. So the other book that we're going to kind of peek at, you guys are familiar with Alfred Piano Adventures, right? The one with the flying piano on there, they actually do not give you any of those in their book one. They don't choose any of the pieces that come from the purple book. They're preparatory book for the preparatory level.
Okay.
Now, I have some pictures of that. So examples, performance book, they do have some pieces that they might choose for the preparatory level. So you guys have the whole set of the purple Piano Adventures performance books. Those would kind of be at the late part of the book, preparatory level. And then Hal Leonard, you have one of those books. Book one would be a preparatory level. My first recital book, FJH, in your correlating kind of graph I give you, you can see that there's a whole bunch of my first piano adventure or my first recital. Those are typically going to be your preparatory pieces. That doesn't mean every time, because sometimes my first classics, there really aren't a lot that would be preparatory. Maybe a handful, but not a lot, because a lot of times in classical music, both hands do move. And so it really kind of keeps you in one position for the most part, where you're not moving and shifting all around. So level one would be a little different. Okay, why in the world is that? Okay. So I missed my quote. Richard Chronister often said that a good teacher, not a food teacher, that's a typo, a food teacher. Oh, okay. A good teacher stranded on a desert island with only the worst possible method available could still teach well because it is ultimately the teacher who makes the difference in the learning process. I'm not a food teacher, brother. I must have been hungry when I was doing it. Okay, not a food teacher. I could not teach you about making food. Yes. You wouldn't have a piano. No, he's just saying, no, that's okay. Richard Chronister also stated that it is not what is on the page that is the most important part of the learning process. So, by that, what he's saying is you could choose the finest materials known to man, or you could have the worst materials known to man. And if you're a great teacher, you can make it come up to life, and you can make it fun, you can make it engaging, and that's why some people did John Thompson and they loved it. It's because the teacher brought it to life and made it fun and engaging, or they used a different method. But the key is the teacher was creatively incorporating, and there's sometimes things that you feel as a teacher aren't included that you will incorporate. Or they only give one activity, you're going to do three. Or there are no activities and you create your own. So what he's wanting you to do is not rely too much on your. Even if you pick a grade, don't rely too much on it. And be demonstrating some with-itness so that you can, hopefully, for your student, give them what they need, not necessarily what the book is trying to teach. So preparatory level, we already walked through that. There's the preparatory level examples that you could look at. I have a lot of those. If you're wanting to peek more at those, a lot of what you got in your packets, that would be your preparatory levels, is a lot of what you have information about. They didn't give you a ton of other levels. But they're hoping to get you hooked on the beginning and then you continue in. So then level 1, so character, and mood. That's something that's universal. I love to play the piano, not just to play notes. And that is the character and mood, bringing that to life. And I think children are magnificent with it. They can do really well in understanding character. Can you ask a child, is this scary? Is this funny? Is this silly? I know watching my own kids, as soon as the music in a film gets cool, my little girl will like quick run to the bathroom or hide behind the couch or wherever it is because they know the mood is preparing for something quite scary or exciting, whatever it may be. And it's important for students to start being able to express their mood through play. And that's a great way to use improvising, making up their own songs. If you make up a dinosaur story or a princess story, they start to be able to play some of those styles. Rhythm, steady rhythm. So that's the same as preparatory, but the new thing would be to be able to play a fermata and ritardando and a tempo. So I just went to get Chinese at Hy-Vee on Sunday, and I always grab some chopsticks. Every time I go, I usually eat with a silverware, but I take chopsticks. Not so I don't use chopsticks for this. I let my students conduct me. So tell them where you want them to hold it, and they get to keep moving it out. And then I stop when they stop. So that they get to first physically hear and see, not have to try and do it. Because kids are a lot better at copying than they are just never having seen it or done it. And then retardando. I love the choo train analogy. Or they've all seen a music box. I love those ballerina ones where she slowly to a stop of twirling around. Those are great for them to see and how music kind of unfolds. And they don't often realize it, but we often do that at the end of a phrase when we're talking or reading a paragraph. Just brings a lot of closure. Then touch, pleasing tone qualities, it's the same. New is crescendo and diminuendo. Is that a hard concept? It's hard to perform. It's not hard to like show or, but it is something that takes a little bit of refining of like, kids are extremists. I mean, they just are. They're either super loud or super quiet. I go to lunch with my girls once a month. I try to make a goal of going once a month to have lunch. And they're either quiet as church mice or they're like super noisy at lunch. I mean, there's no middle. They're either so loud or super quiet. But the middle is very difficult. Like a child, do they use their inside voice naturally?
Not
No.
unless they're really shy, and then even at home usually.
Yeah. So, and then the shy child might be whispering their wishes, and no one can. So it's just you have to be trained to kind of find those middle places. So to do a good crescendo and diminuendo, it's gonna take some work. I like to think of a band. If you're at a parade, when you have a marching band, as they approach, it's not like instantly it's super loud. It's like this gradually coming and gradually going. It feels more distant. And that's going to be where you might have them experiment with that quite a bit. But that's a level 1 skill. And that may take you a quite long time. And even still, I'm refining my own crescendo techniques and diminuendo. Because sometimes it's over a long period of time, other times it's over a short period of time. In level 1, it's more often a short. Because building one for like 7 measures would be quite abstract. You know what I mean? And usually the other piece is much more than like 10, 12 measures anyways. Not usually. So demonstrate understanding of form once again. So a lot of similar things. Primarily the new things would be also on legato and staccato rhythm that we haven't had to do before. Good news, I have batteries in there, but bad news is I don't know why it's not working. The legato and staccato. Remember, she said that she does not really introduce any legato until quite later. So you're going to spend a lot of time before you're asking them to do both of these. So be really careful that you're not putting this on them too quickly because it is a more mature skill. Pieces that would be in this level 1 example. I did a lot of searching for this. In this book, they give you, I should maybe scan this in so you have this as a reference. I think that would be. It might be available on MMTA, I'm not sure. Since I had it printed out, obviously, I like using it here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of suggested for the level 1 person. And so I pulled up some of them. So Suzuki Piano School Volume 1, that's kind of their book one. Christmas Day, that one's The Magic of Music. That's Dennis Alexander. I love his arrangements. A lot of his stuff is great. Animal Magic, the Festival Collection. We've looked at those. I have a lot of those over there. I pulled out a few other ones. So this is can you see this? I think they can see that. There it is. I have the book 1. So that's mid-elementary. I have book preparatory book. You can peek at those, what they'll look like. And I'll give this one to Logan and Anna. This is Helen Marley. She has a CD, very skillfully performed. She is really great about, her method is succeeding with the masters. She incorporates a lot of real classical music very early on in their study and the study of composers. I love that. And I've used that with I had a student that had dysgraphia. And so cognitively, he could read and understand way beyond he could actually play. So he loved all the music history and that he could use his knowledge to his advantage with performance. So those are great. Obviously, there's a bit of overlap between the two books. Sumi Piano Solo Package. Sumi Burchard is a publisher that got purchased by Alfred. So more and more you're seeing Alfred is the supplier for so many different books. And that's why it's such a powerful search engine. Tons and tons of repertoire available. Alfred also owns Suzuki. You can purchase Suzuki through Alfred as well. Artist Preparatory Piano Literature. This is produced by Faber, available through Hal Leonard. I have some of these books. I like them for this reason, is you can start incorporating classics fairly early in their study. Because do you often find them in your teaching methods a ton? They're sometimes there. Like Ode to Joy is often there. But and maybe Eine kleine Nachtmusik by Mozart, but I like to expose them to great music from day one, and, as much as possible. So musical miniatures. So there's that by Margaret Goldston, and you've already looked at the essential keyboard repertoire. There are a few level 1 in even this book here. This trumpet tune, they kind of put level 1 category. We had said it's like a level 3 or 2 piece. So is there a precise quantifier of how you decide whether to give this at level 2 or level 3? In this syllabus, there'll sometimes be a piece that will be listed twice. You could perform it either or. The key thing that they want you to be able to show, let's say you did the trumpet tune, you need to play a contrasting piece for your second piece. So if you played one in C major, they're probably going to want you to demonstrate in another key and a totally different contrasting style. Yes. Having fun on my No, a lot of those are really creative and fun. The Best of Martha Muir is level 1. She has book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5. Is it always a precise correlation? No. Just pay attention. I think that they tend to try and target like the proper level. But just be very conscientious as you're kind of exploring that. I have another page of those. Blue Ribbon Encyclopedia. I have that book. The Kangaroo That Almost Flew, The Shark, Celebrated Piano Solos, Discovering Piano Literature, Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Book 4, and so on. There's so much available at this level. And I think you help your student to progress to the intermediate stage if you're incorporating some of these books more early, because they won't be as freaked out when you start showing them those. Yes, Sarah.
Is this a method or are they just like supplements?
They're supplemental books.
Okay.
So, Succeeding with the Masters, that is a method, and you can look at those on FJH's website. I think they gave you book 1, the preparatory book. Anyway, I've used Succeeding with the Method Masters, and I like them pretty well. And then they would kind of correlate, and you could use the chart to kind of put it all together. I use Succeeding with the Masters not exclusively with Melody, I would say she's a middle intermediate student, pushing towards the late intermediate stuff. So I'm pretty eclectic with her because she's 13 and her interests vary like the weather does. And so one day she's into this and then the next day she's not. So that is where you need to be flexible because she might have, she likes sad music right now. So we're finding a lot of nocturnes and a lot of very reflective, reminiscent pieces, and so I look for that. So in those books, I found a really nice arrangement called Daydreaming. It's just beautiful and very somber, and that worked really well, and it kind of fit into her level. So I think that was the last one I wanted. Oh, The Magic of Music. Tons of things. I'll look and see if this is available on their website. If it's not, I could scan it in and just, you can look at it. But we'll see you on Wednesday. I will be working on preparing your Friday video in the meantime. Okay? So, happy Monday to you. What are the baby shoes for?
Oh, I got them in the mail for Coach Katie's baby shower.
Oh, they're adorable. They're my first cleats. Oh, they are so cute. That's fun. Okay, so I will.
Do you like these